Researching your said text gives your essays depth and authority. A student who knows the historical context of a novel, the author's stated intentions, and how critics have responded to it, the student writes a far richer essay. Student 1. What kinds of things should we research? For areas, the author's life and other works, the historical and social context of the text, the critical reception of the text, and the literary tradition the text belongs to. For Chinua Achebe, born 1930, Ojidai, Anambra State. Igbo father who was a Christian convert. Educated at Government College Umuahia and University of Ibadan. Things Fall Apart published 1958, just 2 years before Nigerian independence. Student 2. And knowing that independence was coming helps us understand why he wrote it. Exactly. He was reclaiming an Igbo word before colonialism, asserting its complexity and dignity at a moment when the colonial narrative was still dominant. For any African said text, understand, when was colonialism established in that region? What resistance movement existed? What were the economic and social consequences of colonialism? Student 3. For Soyinka's plays, what context matters? The Yoruba cosmological tradition, Ogun, Esu, the concept of transition. Also the Nigerian political context, coups, Biafra, military rule. Soyinka himself was imprisoned during the Civil War. For research, use, school and public libraries, the JSTOR database if available, Google Scholar, a fleet, African literature database, and encyclopedias like Britannica for background. Student 1. What about Wikipedia? Use it as a starting point only, to get an overview. Then check the sources listed at the bottom of Wikipedia articles and go to those primary sources. Never cite Wikipedia in an academic essay. Effective note-taking for literature research. 1. Record the source clearly, author, title, year, page number. 2. Distinguish between direct quotes, in quotation marks, and your paraphrase. 3. Add your own response. How does this information affect your reading of the text? Student 2. Should we use index cards? Index cards work well. Or a notebook with sections per topic. The key is organization. You need to find your notes again when writing the essay. Secondary sources are critics writing about the text. For Achebe, you might read Abiola Ireo's The African Imagination, or Simon Gikandi's Maps of Englishness. Even short critical introductions in your text preface or notes are valuable. Student 3. How do we use critical opinions without just copying them? Cite them, engage with them. Write, according to Ireel, Achebe. Then give your own view. Do you agree? Does the text support this reading? Critical conversation, not copying. In WAEC essays, you show your research by demonstrating awareness of context, without writing history essays, engaging with the text closely, and occasionally referencing a critical view if you know one. Student 1. Do WAEC markers reward references to critics? They reward evidence of wide reading and contextual knowledge. A well-integrated reference to a critic or historical fact, linked to textual analysis, scores highly. Research skills transform your reading. Investigate autobiography, historical context, literary tradition, and critical reception. Take organized notes, use reliable sources, and integrate your research thoughtfully into your essays.